If you're following me for a while, then you for sure have noticed that every now and then I take serious topics that we consider neo-topics or issues of our modern time and prove that they are not so modern as we like them to be, because a lot of the things that we are arguing, judging, and diminishing today have their roots a long time ago. The amount of content that is out there on why men cheat on women, why some cultures allow men to have multiple women but not women to have multiple men, why women hate gold diggers, why men hate gold diggers, why you can never have a wealthy man for yourself as a woman, why rich men are never satisfied with one woman only. But it's not just the content, just hear the opinions around in social settings. Now, I'm not saying we are not facing modern issues, especially when they are related to social media and dating apps and other things. But more often than not, we are really lacking education and knowledge of history. And I'm not talking about his story, but I'm really talking about the old, ancient, and Sanskrit teachings when it comes to sexuality, sensuality, marriage, outside marriage affairs. In ancient China, the Taoists were considered the original free thinkers because they believed that humankind and nature are one and that we need to live in accordance with one another. Also that our sexual energy is the most important energy, and they had a lot of secret schools where they were teaching special techniques and rituals around this energy to harness our youth to reach immortality and spiritual enlightenment, in opposition to the Confucianism, who believe that man is man and nature is nature, they got nothing in common, and also that men are above women. Now, why on earth am I telling you all of this, especially since my intro was about gold diggers, rich men, multiple women, a lot of wives, Let me begin. Now, the reason why I'm shooting this video is not to justify why certain people do certain things and whether it's right or wrong, good or bad. I'm leaving this up to the individuals because everyone has anyways their own opinion and people like to believe what they like to believe. My message in this video is simply this, that I'd like to share with you information about certain dynamics that are going on today and certain relationship aspects that actually have their roots in ancient China and are not really a modern problem. Have you ever heard of the following words? Courtesans, consorts, and concubines. And what do these words have in common for you? I'm sure for most of you it's one thing, and that's prostitution. Because unfortunately, in the Western world in particular, we believe that concubines, consorts, and courtesans were women who simply had pleasure with men for money. But that is not true. Let me go through each and every one of them. Let's talk a bit about the courtesans. They were the forerunners of the geishas in ancient China, and there for the professional business entertainment of men. But don't get it twisted, they were not clowns. Being a courtesan at that time was one of the most respectable and honorable jobs for a woman. They were very well educated and trained in love, arts, poetry, music, social behavior, business, and politics. And more often than not, they were the confidants and the advisors of the rich and the wealthy. For a man, it was a symbol of his wealth, influence, and power when he can call the company of a courtesan to be his own. So perhaps you should stop judging women who have similar jobs nowadays in regards to entertaining men, because after all, they might just be reincarnated courtesans. Let's move on to the second one that is very well known nowadays and one of the main reasons for a lot of relationship coaches, therapists, and analysts. What we call a mistress nowadays used to be a consort in ancient China. Consorts were women who had no official standing as a wife, and they used, of course, to live separate from their lovers, and they would provide them with peace, joy, and lust, far away from their family troubles and business affairs. Consorts were usually chosen for their beauty and their charms, and were known to live a very easy and opulent life. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why we have so many happy mistresses today. Last but not least, let's talk about the concubines. They are what we call nowadays, and have in still a lot of cultures, the secondary wife. In early China, men were allowed to have as many concubines as they can financially afford, and often there were also agreements between families. The role of a concubine can be divided into 4 parts. Number 1 is to guarantee the male offspring in the family, which I'm not quite sure how they did that. Role number 2, since they lived in the same household with wife number 1 and all the other concubines, was to support with the home and house duties. Role number 3 was to support financially, and last but not least, to give her man pleasure and intimacy. Why I share this video today is because I want to provoke your thoughts a little bit. And I want to show you as well with facts and historical information that what we often consider nowadays to be a problem, where we spend thousands of dollars to go to therapists, to where we listen to dating coaches, perhaps it's not really the result of us having too many choices or options, or us being upped, or whatever the case is. Perhaps there are just many roles that are playing out today, that have been playing out since beginning of time. And it's just that we have not understood the meaning of it, because we are so caught up in what we believe a relationship, a marriage, or any other romantic institution should be. Sending you so much love. Mwah.